That's not good.
It is 6:30. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And I will announce that tonight's proceedings are, as always, being recorded by a citizen, and it will be available live streaming, and it will end up on YouTube. Have you guys had a chance to go over the minutes?
No.
All right, let's read the minutes. What's that? We can. No, it's fine. We'll go ahead and do the pledge of allegiance first.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Now we get back to the minutes. All right. I would propose one change to these. Glenn asked if David could add a line to his maintenance reports for the time spent and how much money was spent. I thought we agreed with Glenn on that. Did you?
I can remember the conversation now. Did I agree? Yeah.
I think we did. I think I'd like to pass on that I think we'd like to see that. So
To each individual truck.
yeah. So in other words, in addition to the regular log that they currently keep, if we could add a line that would say, well, a couple sections that would say what was the cost of labor and what was the cost of material, so we can get an accurate sense of what a particular repair cost. We may actually do it. Nothing personal. We just have somebody come in and say with us here. No, but eventually it's just something like that. All right. So I'll propose that we, at the end of that sentence, it says Glenn asked if David, blah, and I'll just say the selectmen agreed. Does that work? All right. Then I'll move that we accept the minutes as amended. Second. All in favor? Aye. All right.
David will have to get notified.
All right. We juggled things around a little bit with the schedule. We'll be scheduling a non-public session for Thursday. No, we're going to end up doing that on next Tuesday.
I thought we were going to do it tonight.
Oh,
That's what I remember.
There you go.
Okay.
That was minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right, got it wrong. And I think at this point, we can probably jump into some of the other stuff. We're kind of holding off for one citizen to show up to discuss drug issues downtown. And she had planned on being here at 7. So it's okay with you guys. We're going to occupy ourselves with some other business until then. First of all, we have the trailer auction. And our 1988 interstate equipment trailer, which has been replaced already. Correct. The old one was placed up on municipal, and it received a high bid of $1,201 to Christopher Parent of Sturbridge, Mass. So I will move that we accept this bid. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sold.
Next.
What's next? Yeah, what else?
Land, actually, if you want to cover that real quickly right now. I am municipal bid to find out what they recommend on time-wise of how long to put it on. They said 3 weeks is a good number on it, where the equipment normally likes to run for a couple weeks, like that. So my thought was, I don't know if the corner posts have been, the guy flagged them last year or something, so I'm sure if they're still there or not, but I'll go back up and flag them. And then I got a list that I gave to Kelly of the butters and also the bidders that bid on it last time we had it up. And I figured we should at least send a letter to at least the butters and also the people that bid on it last time. And hopefully we can get that thing on the market maybe in another week.
So Kelly has everything she needs to do that.
Correct.
And this is the one that goes on mine.
This is the one that goes to mine road.
You want to sell that on Unity?
That was kind of where my question was going. So, a 3-week thing on muni bid, would we, I guess I imagine land being sold other places other than muni bid, maybe it's a good place, but would we post it anywhere else? Would we?
Well, I had signs made up.
Right.
That I figured we put on the road, to show that we are selling it, where to go do the bid on it. Facebook, I mean, I'm not sure, we could probably run some ads in local papers and stuff like that. I try to keep the cost down to the minimum, but when we're talking land, I mean, we want to get the word out there as much as possible that it is. And we can go longer too, we can go a month. There's no stipulation.
Auctioning it off.
Yeah, it is an online auction of land.
Yeah.
Instead of,
That's the way you want it to go?
I guess that's.
It's an unusual way to get, if we get $1 from taxes off of it, we're better off than we are. Well, that's true, but you have an asset, you want to get the most you can.
I don't think.
Well, we can actually, if I can interrupt, everything that I write up is that the selectmen have the opportunity to refuse any bids.
Right, we did not have to sell this trailer.
Absolutely, yeah, so and I think it's worth a try. We've had good luck with the equipment.
I kind of agree with you there that it's worth giving it a try because we're under no obligation. Hold on for just a second. Do we have a ballpark about what's the value of the land?
I didn't bring any of that paperwork with me, but I don't remember to be quite
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's about 12, 15 acres?
It's like 12 acres, I believe. Wasn't worth a lot. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I think it was 30 or 40 grand is what the town had it assessed at, I think it was.
Gotcha.
But like I said, I don't remember the exact number. That was all that paperwork that I gave to Kelly on that. I haven't been home to bring it with me this time, so.
Yeah, so yeah, I have no fundamental issue with the auction itself taking place online. That seems like a kind of easy thing to do.
The problem I have is that people that are going to buy land generally do not frequent muni bid.
I agree. And that's why I'm thinking perhaps if we did a combination of maybe some newspaper advertising around here,
Even
with
if-
nothing but Alstead is selling land, muni bid.
Yeah. That would be okay.
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to that.
So
I thought you had a question with your hands down, so.
Multiple listing service, is there a way to get it on there? And that's where people look for.
Yeah.
MLS.
Private.
Yeah.
Well, see, you can't, because then it's, that's
You gotta
done
go
through
through
a realtor, and you cannot sell this through a realtor. It has to be
There's no way to
sealed
get on
or
there.
electronic bidding. Can't sell a piece of property. That's why we voted 4 years ago, whatever it was, so that would allow us to expand from sealed bidding, which we used to do, to electronic bidding, which we do at the present, because we were getting nothing for our equipment before.
So could the selectmen vote to work with MLS, but realizing that we're gonna lose a percentage of?
I don't know,
You have to have a
you'd have
broker.
to, you'd have to
Right.
talk to legal about that.
Right. So
I
then,
don't think you can, but I'm not a lawyer.
yeah.
Can you do a starting bid, Glenn? I mean, and be kind of reasonable?
Well, the whole point of this, of municipal bid is that, at the end, you can refuse any and all bids, so you don't really, they recommend not putting any reserve on it at all, so minimum bid. Some people do, and I've seen the stuff just sit there, it just doesn't seem to generate the same type of interest when you start out. First bid's $100.
It's like selling on eBay.
Yeah, exactly.
But if the first bid's $5, then there's a 10, and then there's 100, and
It
then
just feeds on
it
itself.
works on its own.
There has to be a fee if you refuse, though.
Nope.
No fee.
There's no fee whatsoever. Yep, no fee whatsoever.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, there's no cost whatsoever to us. Whoever purchases has an 8% fee if the transaction goes through.
8%.
8%. So everything that we sell is an 8% tacked onto that to the person that purchases stuff from us.
Okay, well, while we're in the meeting,
We'll have to have Kelly posted in the paper.
yeah, I guess the question is, I mean, anybody want to throw out a number? Is that $25,000 worth of land? Is it, you said around 40, you thought, maybe something like that? Isn't it reasonable to establish some sort of a budget that we would be willing to spend to advertise it in addition to any bid? We say $200 worth of newspaper, 300, 500.
Boy, I don't know, I don't think it costs that much, does it?
I have no idea.
I've never bought it that. Steve works for the paper, he knows how much it ads cost.
Well, I know, we said $150 up to $150 to publish it in
Yeah.
local
Yeah.
newspapers.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Then I'll move in addition to muni bid for this parcel of land that we allocate up to $150 from the budget to supplement muni bid with local print advertising.
Yeah.
There's a
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And I'll bring the numbers, I'll get some organized for
Yeah.
next week's meeting.
And Kelly has contacts for all the local papers, and she
Yeah.
does other stuff for them. We can see what a couple lines is worth and see where it looks.
Right.
Okay. All right. So is that the only parcel of land you're,
Well, that's the
Right
person I
now.
want to experiment with,
It's-
and,
and it is an
there-
experiment?
yes, exactly. I always say it's worth a try, and all it is a little bit of time and maybe a little bit of money advertising, and we'll see what we get on it. But there is a couple of up in Shattuck land, like there's like 3 lots up there, they're small.
Yeah.
I was basically cherry picking the better ones. There's also up on Newell Pond, not the forest, but there's another lot that's actually out on the main road that goes down to the, actually, I talked to a guy that actually has a camp up there, and he would, I'll sell my house in Keenan, buy that, build a house there, so,
Deal.
you know.
Was that his offer?
Well,
I was just
I told him
saying
to
what
go
it
through the
is.
bidding process, but
Yeah, well,
I don't know, I haven't really found the corners of this and what type of property it is, but it is a fairly decent piece that's up there.
Gotcha.
And it's it's not part of the forest, so just, so everybody knows, I'm not trying to sell a forest land there, so.
You get a price.
You could be,
Is it about Tom, by chance?
like I said, I haven't really done any research on it yet, but it's actually before you, it's like 2 lots up from the road that actually goes
Yeah,
down
or
around.
business if you wanna do it.
Got a couple things here. We have the, we could probably do the bylaws school stuff. We can talk about the door. We have the broker stuff. Other than you guys want to talk about all those, you have something else in the
I have some morning sun.
Yeah, I
David
did,
gave me.
actually, but that was.
Morning sun, down on this one. Isn't that morning sun?
Yeah. Yes.
Search of.
You wanna do it now?
Yep.
A 911 requires road signs. And apparently the town of Alstead purchased road signs for morning sun. I don't know if you're aware of that. I didn't know that either. And, he was gonna go down and put them up. And I said, they're private roads, why would we put signs up on private roads? And he said they're 911. So I said, and the problem with that is what? It's got nothing to do with that. But apparently we bought and paid for those signs.
Do we have some sort of obligation to?
I don't, I have no,
We
I don't, there's none that I know of.
Right.
But I told him, if he puts those signs up on those roads, then that's a precedent.
The whole idea of the 911 signs is so we can find the roads, whether they be public or private, period. If they're not marked, we're not gonna find them. That's why we started from day one, and I believe if you check, you'll find that it's a state requirement, that any passageway with more than 2 structures on it is required to be signed and have a name by the town.